Have you ever felt that moment when a woman's interest was there, but never quite obvious? No flirting, no compliments, no clear move, just a strange feeling that something was happening beneath the surface. Here's a question worth asking. Why do some women seem more subtle, more careful, especially around older men? The answer is simple. They are not hiding attraction, they are testing awareness. And if you're a man past 50, this happens far more often than you think. Women don't become colder with age or experience. They become more precise, more selective, more protective of their dignity. They don't want to look desperate, they don't want to feel foolish, and they never want to expose desire unless they feel safe. So instead of flirting, they observe. Instead of chasing, they probe. And instead of confessing interest, they ask questions. This is the part most men never realize. Those questions are not casual. They are not polite conversation. They are signals disguised as curiosity. When a woman feels drawn to an older man, she almost always asks two very specific questions. Not occasionally, not by coincidence, almost every time. It's a quiet pattern, a kind of unspoken language hiding in plain sight, and if you don't know how to hear it, you will miss it. Not because you lack intelligence, but because no one ever explained how attraction changes at this stage of life. Take a moment and think back. Was there ever a woman who seemed engaged, warm, genuinely interested, and only later did you realize she wanted more? Most men say yes, and most men realize it far too late. Here's something that may surprise you. Many men over 50 believe they've become invisible. They assume younger women don't notice them. They assume women their own age have already made up their minds, but reality tells a different story. A grounded, mature man often becomes more attractive with time, not because of appearance, but because of presence. What actually holds men back is not women. It's misreading signals. It's telling yourself, she's just being polite. It's just friendly conversation. It doesn't mean anything, when in truth, she was quietly opening a door. Women almost never announce attraction directly. They observe first. They test. They watch how a man responds under subtle pressure. They pay attention to your calm, your emotional control, your ability to stay present without chasing or withdrawing. This is not manipulation. This is assessment. And the moment a woman begins to see you as a man she could trust, something changes, emotionally, physically, intimately. Her tone shifts. Her curiosity sharpens. Her questions carry weight. She is no longer just talking. She is measuring. At that point, her questions are designed to reveal three things about you. Your masculinity. Are you centered? Or are you seeking approval? Your availability. Not neediness, but an emotional openness. And your perception. Can you recognize interest when it's offered quietly? This is where the two questions appear. But to understand why they matter, you need to understand the psychology behind them. Most men over 50 were raised in a different world. A world where interest was direct, where signals were louder, where people said what they meant. Modern feminine communication doesn't work that way. Even with mature women, even with women your own age, a woman will rarely say, "I'm attracted to you. I want to get closer. I see you romantically." That level of exposure feels risky, especially with a man who appears experienced and composed. So instead, she probes. She asks carefully chosen questions, questions that allow her to explore closeness without rejection, questions that protect her dignity. Because beneath it all, there is a quiet fear many women carry. If I show too much interest, he'll judge me. If I misread him, I'll feel foolish. If I lean in too far, I'll lose control. So desire hides inside curiosity. To an untrained ear, these questions sound harmless, almost boring, easy to dismiss. And if you miss them, she won't repeat them. This is critical to understand. Women rarely make the same emotional offer twice, not out of coldness, but out of self-respect. Stoic philosophy understood this long before modern psychology. Dignity does not shout, strength does not beg. Interest, when healthy, is restrained. Women operate by the same principle. Feminine psychology works in layers. What is said is rarely the full message. What matters is why it is being asked. Men tend to show interest through action. We give time, we offer effort, we create movement. Women, when interested, ask. A question is an invitation, a bridge, a way of saying, "Step closer," without risking rejection. Most questions mean nothing at all. they are just conversation. But when a woman is exploring intimacy with a mature man, only two questions appear again and again. Across ages, across cultures, across situations, they surface quietly, casually, almost effortlessly. But they are never accidental. Once you understand them, everything changes. You stop guessing, you stop overthinking, you stop missing doors that were already open. You respond with presence instead of fear, with strength instead of urgency, with awareness instead of confusion. That is the Stoic advantage. Not chasing, not forcing, but seeing clearly and standing firm. And when a woman senses that clarity in you, she relaxes. She doesn't have to push. She doesn't have to prove herself. She doesn't have to guard against chaos. She can reveal interest slowly, safely, through questions. In the next part, I'll reveal the two questions themselves, and more importantly, how to answer without breaking the moment, because the wrong response can close a door just as quietly as it opened. Stay with me. This is where most men lose the opportunity without ever knowing why. Before anything else, you need to understand this clearly. A woman does not ask these questions because she is curious for no reason. She is not being nosy. She is not filling silence. She asks because she wants to feel your emotional temperature. She is quietly asking herself, is this man calm? Is he confident without trying? Is he open? Or is he closed off behind manners and distance? She is sensing your energy, not your words. She is observing how you occupy space. She is reading what you don't say. These questions are not about information. They are relational. They are designed to create emotional gravity between you and her. Think of them as small bridges. Bridges a woman places between herself and a man she feels drawn to, not to cross them herself, but to see if he will. And when a man steps onto that bridge with presence, something shifts. The air changes, her body relaxes, her interest deepens. Now let's slow down and go deeper. Most men answer these questions literally. They give facts, they give explanations, they give polite, safe responses. But a grounded man understands something else is happening. He hears the meaning underneath the words. Because the moment she asks these questions, she is not collecting data. She is checking connection. She is checking your attention. She is checking whether you are emotionally awake. She is checking your masculine awareness. When a woman is drawn to you, she does not need displays. She does not need stories about success. She does not need you to impress her. She needs to feel your presence, that calm, centered presence that comes from a man who knows himself, the kind of presence younger men rarely have, the kind that cannot be faked. This is why these two questions matter so much. They are not random curiosity, they are invitations. The first question a woman asks when she desires intimacy with an older man is about one thing only: your availability, not your calendar, your heart. She is quietly asking, is there space for me in this man's life? Not time, space. This is not a logistical question. It is a psychological one. It is emotional. She wants to know if you are open or sealed shut, if you are capable of connection or hiding behind routine, if she can approach without being pushed away. Women are careful with emotional energy. They don't spend it where it will be wasted. So before she risks revealing interest, she tests openness. This first question is the feminine version of a man leaning in, just slightly, to see if the woman leans back or pulls away. But most men miss it, because it sounds like small talk, because it sounds harmless, because it doesn't feel dramatic, and that is exactly why it works. The second question a woman asks when she desires intimacy is different. It is not about your goals, not your career, not your achievements. It is about your direction, your inner direction. She wants to feel movement in you, purpose, grounded masculine energy, not ambition for show, but direction with weight. Women do not follow idle men, they follow anchored men. This question tells her whether you are emotionally alive, whether you know who you are, whether you stand on something solid. She is asking herself, is this man stable enough for me to rest in? Does he have standards? Does he drift? Or does he choose? This second question is not about facts, it is about essence. When she asks it, she is imagining what life beside you would feel like, not what you own, not what you've done, but how you move through the world. A woman can desire a man's body, but she moves toward him when she desires his presence. And this question is her doorway into your presence. Now this matters even more for men over 50. By this stage of life, Women assume something about you. They assume you have already lived many stories, loved, lost, built, failed, survived, and because of that they are careful. They do not want to step into a life where there is no room for them. They do not want to become a side character in a man's routine. They do not want to be an afterthought. So these two questions, subtle and almost invisible, become her test. Is there space for me here? And is this man living with intention or merely existing? This is deeply Stoic, whether people realize it or not. Stoicism teaches dignity, presence, strength without noise. A man who is centered does not chase and does not hide, he stands. When a woman feels that steadiness, she feels safe enough to approach, not loudly, not dramatically, but honestly. You can miss compliments, you can misread body language, you can overlook eye contact. But if you miss these two questions, you miss the moment. The moment a woman is opening a door without risking her pride, and once that door closes, it rarely opens again, not out of bitterness, but out of self-respect. This is why awareness matters. This is why presence matters. This is why masculine calm is so powerful, because the man who sees clearly does not rush, he does not freeze, he responds from depth, and that response, quiet and grounded, is often all it takes. Now let's slow down and move to the center of this message. This is where everything becomes clear, because when a woman desires intimacy with an older man, not friendship, not polite conversation, but real closeness, she does something very specific. She tests the connection. This test almost always takes the same form. Two questions. They appear across cultures, ages, and backgrounds, not because women copy each other, but because these questions touch the core of feminine psychology. They are simple on the surface, but powerful underneath. The first question always comes quietly, almost casually. She asks, "Do you spend a lot of time alone?" At first glance it sounds harmless, even boring. But make no mistake, this is a signal. This is her way of asking, is there room for me in your world? Is this man emotionally open or emotionally sealed? Does he have space for intimacy, or is his life locked into routines? Women phrase this question in many ways. You usually go out alone. You seem like someone who enjoys solitude. Are you seeing anyone, or just doing your own thing lately? No matter the wording, the meaning stays the same. This question is never about loneliness. It is about access. A woman asks this only when she has already imagined herself somewhere near your life. She is quietly assessing whether you are receptive or unavailable, because if she had no interest, she would not care how you spend your time. But when she is drawn to you, especially to the calm strength that mature men can carry, she wants to know something important. Can I step into this man's life without forcing my way in? Most men answer this question too literally. Yes, I'm alone a lot. Not really. It depends. And the moment passes. A grounded man hears the meaning beneath the words. He understands she is not asking about his schedule. She is checking emotional openness. She is testing whether intimacy with you is even possible. So how do you respond in a way that builds attraction? You answer with balanced masculinity. Calm, confident, open, but never needy. You might say, I enjoy my space, but I'm never closed to good company. Or, I like my routines, but I'm always open to something meaningful. That tone does something powerful. It tells her you are emotionally available without chasing. It signals that you choose who enters your world, and that she might be someone worth choosing. This is exactly what women respond to. Open, but not empty. Receptive, but not longing. Strong, without being distant. When you answer this way, she feels warmth and safety at the same time, and that naturally leads her to the second question, the one that reveals her true desire. The second question is this: what are you looking for these days? This is not small talk. This is not casual curiosity. This is a woman evaluating you as a romantic possibility. If she had no interest, she would never ask this. It is too personal, too revealing, too risky. Women reserve this question for men they see as potentially meaningful. Again, the wording may change. What do you want in your life right now? What's your direction these days? What are you focused on lately? What are you hoping to find at this stage? But the intention is always the same. She is reading your internal compass. For a woman to open herself emotionally or physically to a man, especially a mature man, she needs to feel something solid. He knows who he is. He knows what he wants. He is not wandering. She wants to feel that you are not trapped in unresolved past relationships, that you are not simply passing time, that your life has movement and intention. This question is her way of discovering whether your life is heading somewhere she would want to walk toward. Is this man grounded? Is he alive inside? Is he someone I could trust with my vulnerability? Men lose this moment when they answer without direction. I'm just taking it day by day. I'm not really sure. I'm just looking for peace. Those answers tell her something very clear. This man is drifting. Women do not invest emotionally in drifting men. Age does not change that. So how do you answer with masculine clarity? You do not need a speech. You do not need to explain your entire life. You only need direction. You might say, I'm building a stronger, simpler chapter with the right people, or I'm focused on connection that feels natural and honest, or I'm living with more intention, good company, and meaningful moments. These responses do something important. They show movement, they show clarity, they show that you know what you want, and most importantly, they allow her to see herself fitting into your direction. This is powerful for a woman. It gives her the quiet permission she was hoping for, a sign that you are not emotionally asleep. Because here is the truth, many men over 50 miss. Women do not want perfection. They want aliveness, not just a man who exists, but a man who is awake inside. This is deeply aligned with Stoic wisdom. A man with inner discipline does not drift. A man with presence does not chase. He moves forward with calm intention. And when a woman feels that steadiness, she feels safe enough to lean in. These two questions are not tricks. They are not games. They are invitations. And the man who recognizes them does not rush or freeze. He responds with clarity, with dignity, with presence. That is what opens the door. Let's go a level deeper into the psychology behind this. Women do not test men randomly. They test based on emotional readiness. They test for safety before desire. When a woman asks, "Do you spend a lot of time alone?" she is probing your openness, not your habits, your emotional door. When she asks, "What are you looking for these days?" she is probing your direction, not your plans, your inner compass. And here is the logic that ties it all together. A man who is open and has direction creates an emotional gravity. He becomes someone a woman can lean into, not because he tries, but because he stands firmly. Women do not need perfection, they need clarity. Clarity creates safety, and safety is what allows desire to grow. This is why these two questions appear again and again. Even when a woman does not consciously realize what she is doing, her intuition leads her there, because intuition follows patterns that protect her. Now let me show you how this plays out in real life. Imagine you are talking with a woman. It could be at a cafe, a bookstore, a gathering with friends, or even through messages online. The conversation feels easy. There is a calm rhythm between you. She laughs a little more than necessary. She holds eye contact just a bit longer. Her tone softens, her body relaxes. Then almost out of nowhere, she asks, "So, do you spend a lot of time alone?" That moment matters more than most men realize. That is her first emotional step toward you. It is small, but it is intentional. She is opening the door, just an inch. She is watching closely, not for clever words, but for presence. If you respond with calm awareness, she feels encouraged. She feels safe enough to stay in the moment. If you respond with confusion, dismissal, or nervous energy, something shifts. Sometimes the collapse happens immediately. Sometimes it happens hours later, sometimes days later. Men are often confused by this. They say everything was going well, then she pulled away. They never realize the moment they missed. Later, if you handled that first question well, something else happens. She asks the second question. What are you looking for at this stage of your life? This is not casual. This is her second step forward. This is her deciding whether to go deeper or step back. She is standing at the edge of possibility, and she is watching how you stand there. If you answer with clarity, she feels expansion. If you answer with uncertainty, she feels danger. Not dramatic danger, emotional uncertainty. And women retreat from uncertainty, not because they are cold, but because they are careful. Men often think these moments are coincidences. They are not. They are emotional checkpoints. Women rarely ask these two questions to a man they do not desire. There is too much risk involved. Too much exposure. A woman who feels nothing stays neutral. She stays surface level. She stays safe. But when she desires intimacy, she does something different. She tests quietly. She tests once. This is important to understand. A woman who desires intimacy will not announce it. She will not confess it. She will not chase you. She will ask 2 questions. Are you emotionally open? Do you spend a lot of time alone? Are you emotionally alive? What are you looking for these days? These questions are not about facts. They are about connection. They are about whether something real is possible. Stoic philosophy speaks directly to this moment. A Stoic man does not react blindly. He observes. He perceives clearly. He does not rush to impress. He does not shrink to protect himself. He responds with grounded awareness. That presence is felt immediately, not logically, emotionally. If you recognize these questions when they appear, you enter the moment fully. You do not guess. You do not wonder later. You meet the invitation with calm strength. If you miss them, the moment disappears, quietly, without drama. Women rarely repeat emotional invitations, not because they are cruel, but because dignity matters. When a woman opens the door, it is usually once, and she watches closely to see if you step forward with awareness. If there is only one thing you take from this message, let it be this. A woman does not test your words. She tests your awareness. She is not listening for the perfect answer. She is feeling for presence. She is sensing whether you are awake in the moment. When you understand this, something changes. You stop overthinking. You stop guessing. You stop replaying conversations in your head. You see the signs as they happen, and that clarity brings confidence. A man who sees clearly does not chase signals. He responds to them with restraint, with dignity. That is strength under pressure. That is emotional mastery. That is masculine presence. And when a woman feels that, she does not need reassurance. She feels safe enough to lean closer, because she knows that the man in front of her is solid. Before you go, take a moment to support this channel. Write the phrase, "I see the signs," in the comments. It shows you understood the message and are ready to apply it. Your engagement helps this reach men who need it. Men who are ready to see clearly. Men who are ready to stand with presence.